So from what you're saying, the global consciousness, fourth dimensional consciousness is like a spiritual neural net. So this leads me to two thoughts, and one is that all the fear and anger and rebellion that goes on is possibly giving it a concussion, or the other is that all the people getting together to work on the same problem is possibly making connections that we can use in the future.
Correct.
Is there a concern there that we're going one way or the other?
My concern is we're going to revert back once the threat is gone. It's like,
Right.
look at world. The only thing that unifies people is an external threat. I mean, in World War II, you had the British Empire, capitalist United States, and communist Russia banding together. Why? Because they had a perceived and very realistic threat with fascist Italy, Nazi Germany, and fascist Japan. And then once that threat subsided, what happened? Then former allies became entrenched on other sides of the Iron Curtain. And I'm afraid that once the threat subsides, we're going to go back to our own old miserable ways of us versus they syndrome. I mean, we're still seeing terrorist activity in the Middle East, although Middle Eastern countries have apparently been hit extremely hard by the coronavirus. And basically, this is a shockwave. It's kind of like, and bear with me when I say this, George Lucas had a near-death experience when he was 16. He was in a car accident. He was dead, pronounced DOA at the hospital. For all intents and purposes, seemed to be dead for about 20 minutes, and he came back to life. So then within maybe like 6 or 7 years, he had a draft of Star Wars. And what's the whole thing about the Force? It's the interconnectedness of everyone and everything. That's what the Force is. Well, for people who have NDEs like myself, like George Lucas, when you come out of it, you realize that everyone and everything is interconnected. And I think that's because we leave our corporeal container, our body, and we revert to a purely energetic state. And so we have that quantum awareness that everything's interconnected. So it's kind of like in the first Star Wars movie when I guess it's the Death Star destroys the planet of Alderaan, and Obi-Wan Kenobi says, there's a great disruption in the Force. That's what's happening with COVID. There is a great disruption in our Force, the Force of planet Earth. And while it's terrible, that disruption could very easily be several thermonuclear devices being detonated. And the problem with that is we're not going to survive that one. And who does? The people who do are really going to kind of wish they didn't. So we're being given a chance here. And this is what I'm getting from this and other mediums and psychics that I've talked to. This is what we're feeling. It's a great disruption in the Force. The problem is, and I'm not going to name any names, but too many countries are ruled by narcissistic, power-hungry, it's all about me and my self-image type of people. And
way to take a swing at the president of Kazakhstan. I mean, come on now. I'm just kidding.
All right, so Vladimir Putin, all right?
Vladimir Putin, yes. That is acceptable.
But the thing is, that's the problem. For every Gandhi, there's 500 Julius Caesars.
Right.
That's the problem.
That is true, because fear is a great motivator, but it's not necessarily a great motivator for doing something great.
No, but for the time being, scientists like exchanging information. They like trading information. I mean, if we talk about historical what ifs and timelines, and we touched upon World War II. People always say, what if you could go back in time and you could see baby Hitler? Would you kill baby Hitler? Okay, that's one of those rhetorical questions.
Sure.
So let's say that you did, all right? Let's say that you had the wherewithal to murder a baby, all right? So you kill baby Hitler. All right, so what if baby Hitler is killed and another militant form of a fascist government seizes control of Germany, but one that doesn't persecute people of the Jewish faith? And instead, all the Jewish quantum physicists stay in Germany, like Albert Einstein and Heisenberg and all these other geniuses. So then, between their V2 rocket technology and they develop the atomic bomb, let's say 1939, 1940, oh, I think the outcome would have been by far worse than what did happen, which was horrific under any form of scrutiny. But can you imagine if some other type of militaristic, hyper-aggressive Nazi government got hold of atomic bombs? You think London would exist? Certainly
Right.
Russia would have been blasted. So our wake-up call is being presented in the form of the coronavirus as opposed to a nuclear radioactive isotope.
Welcome to the radio, Wasteland. Hello, my darling. Welcome to the